Welcome back to the last edition of our Through the Decades exploration of the best actors and actresses in science fiction and fantasy. We've been looking at TV, we've been looking at film, and I've been sharing my lists with my son. He's
Me.
mostly agreed. Will
Enough.
he with the 2020s? I have no idea. Let's find out.
Hi there. Welcome to Fantasy for the Ages, the show where father and son sit down and talk about fantasy, sci-fi, all the fun things we love. My name is Zach. I'm the son of that equation.
And I'm Jim. I'm the father, and we're glad to have you with us here today for what we think will be a fun conversation. If you end up agreeing, be sure to hit like. And if you haven't subscribed yet, we hope you'll subscribe to the channel because we just keep putting out content we think's entertaining, and a lot of people seem to think so. The subscriber list keeps growing. Join the crowd. All right, Zach. So we've done a number of decades looking at the various actors and actresses who've been big in science fiction fantasy. And so far, you've mostly been okay with my picks.
Yeah, I mean, it hasn't felt like you've egregiously put people who didn't belong there. Maybe we've missed some people, but there weren't any times that you've said someone that I've gone, no,
What?
they're awful.
So our minds are not too dissimilar, even though generationally we look at the world a little differently. Let's see if that holds true. For the 2020s, we're only halfway through the decade. I don't have as many movies and shows to put forward as evidence,
Okay.
but I still have actors and actresses I want to put forward as saying, hey, these are rising up as some of the best this decade.
And we'll see if I want to add any.
I like it. Zoe Saldana.
Okay.
We've got Avatar: The Way of Water.
Yep.
In 2022 is Neytiri again. And Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 in 2023, reprising Gamora. So these are both established roles. There is another Star Trek movie coming out as well. She will reprise Uhura. So nothing new this decade, just returning to characters that are established in these genres, which is why she's down at 13. These are great characters, but nothing to raise her any higher.
Okay.
You're good with that?
Sure.
So far.
I'm not offended by it.
Okay. Likewise, number 13. Not introducing anything new. Benedict Cumberbatch.
Just still more of the same.
Just Dr. Stephen Strange. But 2 movies. Spider-Man No Way Home, he has a role in 2021, and then he's the prime role in 2022's Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. As we stumble through the era of the MCU, not really knowing what it's doing and not making a lot of money.
Yeah.
That movie, that last one, wasn't really that bad. Spider-Man No Way Home was actually pretty good.
No, I loved No Way Home.
Yeah.
I thought that was great.
The MCU is going to turn a corner soon.
Or at least you're going to keep saying and hoping for that.
Now, number 12, kind of related, Paul Rudd. We have not mentioned Paul Rudd in any list
We have not.
This, but he makes the list here in the 2020s for Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania in 2023. Now, he was in other Ant-Man movies, but this is the one where I'm going to say, okay, along with the other body of work, I'll put him on a list.
What else you got?
Ghostbusters Afterlife 2021, Gary Gruberson. And I'll just jump to the upcoming Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, which is a sequel. 2025. It has not come out yet. It comes out next month.
You know what? I'm not upset about you including things that haven't come out because there's something that I have in mind that hasn't come out.
There is another thing that I can include that isn't in this decade. Living with Yourself in 2019.
Not in this
series where he played Miles Elliott. It's just an extra thing to throw in. But Quantumania was actually a really good flick for the Ant-Man franchise.
You might be the only person I've ever heard say that.
Really?
I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it?
No, I haven't. I have missed a lot of MCU stuff this decade, and I don't feel that bad about it.
This is like, okay, there are some MCU stuff I have not kept up with, like the Marvels. No, thank you. But Quantumania, no, I love Paul Rudd as Ant-Man. And then the Wasp, what's her name? From Lost. Oh my goodness.
Kate Beckinsale?
No, looks like her, but not the same actress. Wow. That's a common mistake.
It's
People are like, oh yeah, she looks like Kate Beckinsale. I'm gonna look it up. That's so funny.
Is that like Mila Jovovich or something?
No. Oh,
No,
she looks like her too. Yeah.
There's a lot of people who fit with this.
Evangeline Lilly.
That one.
They all look alike. It's like they're
But
clones.
to be fair, they look different enough. But I don't know if I've ever seen any of them in the same things together. So when I think about each of their roles, I have a hard time sometimes.
But they do look
each
very
one.
similar. Yeah. Anyways, they were great in that movie. So, and thereby he missed the snap. Okay. Number 11, Haley Steinfeld.
Okay.
She really impressed me in Hawkeye, the TV series, as Kate Bishop. Are you good with Hawkeye? Did you watch that?
I didn't watch it. It's on the list. I'm behind.
That's worth your time.
I haven't watched it.
Yeah. Now I haven't watched the other thing that's ongoing that she's really big for, and that's Arcane.
I started Arcane. I thought it was really well done and really good.
Animation. You're into animation.
And then I just ran out of time. I was watching other things. Or doing other things. So it's definitely something I have to get back to. I know it's very good. I'm not caught up.
Now, animation she did that I actually watched was in Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse 2023, where she's Gwen Stacy.
Also very good.
And Spider-Woman, just the voice. Yeah, very good. And then the movie I did not see and have no interest in seeing, The Marvels in 2023, where she's just Hawkeye again, Kate Bishop, the female version of Hawkeye, and it's a small role. But The Marvels, everything I see on it, apparently this movie sucked.
Yeah, but to be fair, everything I see about a number of other Marvel movies that you've actually said were pretty good said they sucked. So maybe this one's actually pretty good too. I don't know.
The thing, as far as I can tell, The Marvels is it leaned way too much in where culture supposedly wanted things to go, but most of America was like, we don't want to go there. So it takes.
Maybe, but to be fair, people were just already hating on Brie Larson for that reason. And so it's like,
but that's what I don't get. I love Brie Larson. I think she's great.
I need to agree with you that it's unjust, but I think The Marvels got hate before anyone saw it.
Well, Miss Marvel TV series it was on. I tried watching it. I got through 3 episodes and I'm like, I'm so bored and quit.
To a large extent, maybe it's a bad movie, maybe it's a good movie. I don't know. I haven't seen it. But I do think there is something to be said about the fact that a lot of people decided it was a bad movie before they actually saw it.
Now we get to the top 10.
Okay.
So we're done with the ones that wouldn't have made it. And I'm not sure about top 10. Number 10, Zendaya.
Try again.
Zendaya? But an actress who can rock it with one name.
Yeah.
And, hey, she's awesome. So she starts out with something that's not awesome. 2021, Space Jam: A New Legacy.
Did not see it. Honestly, didn't realize she was in it.
Most people didn't see it. She voices Lola Bunny. That's a LeBron James vehicle where he's trying to be Michael Jordan and to do his own
and
Space
he
Jam.
Is not / was not. But also, maybe just the world didn't really need another Space Jam because I think if the first Space Jam came out now,
there's
it might
nothing
not
wrong with her how she voices Lola Bunny. So she's there. But then, of course, later in 2021, we get her as Chani in Dune.
Mm-hmm.
And then the same year, so 3 things in the same year, Spider-Man No Way Home as MJ.
Mm-hmm.
And then 2023, reprising Chani in Dune Part 2. So that's what I have her here for. Is there anything I'm missing?
Probably. She's been other big things, but not
Fantasy
necessarily
and
that my
sci-fi.
brain says sci-fi
I mean,
fantasy.
she was the whole Euphoria phenomenon. That does not
Exactly.
fit
But
this
that doesn't
genre.
fit in this. So I'm good
For the
with where that
record,
is.
I know Euphoria was huge, and it's not my kind of show. I didn't
I
watch
know
it.
it's not your kind of show.
It
I haven't watched it.
It shouldn't be your kind of show. Be an upright young man. Come on.
I mean, we read grimdark, Dad. I don't think we can judge whether or not that's our kind of show.
Oh, funny. Speaking of grimdark, on our channel here recently, somebody was bashing the Wheel of Time. John Palladino. You know that name, right?
Yeah, we like John Palladino.
We like his grimdark books. And yet he was bashing the Wheel of Time. Now, bashing the Wheel of Time is popular because we did that episode on how we've quit the Wheel of Time.
It
And
did
it's got a
so much better than I
crazy amount of
expected.
views. And people were like, we get it. We totally understand. But he comes on recently. He watched it. He was like, yeah, I got bored of book 2 and I'm out. So I responded directly to him. I said, you're killing me, man. You're just lucky we like your books.
Yeah, it doesn't make me dislike your books anymore. But man,
Oh,
you can be
so
wrong.
funny. So funny.
Recently, I had a friend just finish Knife of Dreams. So we've been talking about how much we love The Wheel of Time. It's been great.
There you go. Number 9. Would you like to know what number 9 is?
I'd love to know what number 9 is.
Oscar Isaac.
Okay, yeah, that's very valid.
Also in Dune, 2021, is Duke Leto, I'm Dead, Atreides. And then Moon Knight. I loved Moon Knight. 2022 TV series. Moon Knight.
Were all of the sequel series Star Wars in the teens?
Yeah, that's back there.
I wasn't sure if the most recent was like 2020 or something.
So Moon Knight, though, this is an underrated show. I mean, it only went one season, and Moon Knight as a Marvel comic is niche. People weren't really into it. Even I'm a big Marvel comic fan, and I was only kind of into Moon Knight, and I checked it out a few times. Oh, that's kind of cool. But they did it so well on the TV, and I'm like, why did this not get more love? Why does it only have one season? Oscar Isaac was great in it. But then he's the voice on Spider-Man Across the Universe of Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Man 2099.
He's got a couple of other things from other decades that like could have been recognized for, except for the fact that you can't recognize him when he plays them, like Apocalypse and X-Men Apocalypse.
Oh, that was not good.
Exactly, and you can't tell it's Oscar Isaac.
Not someone you typically think of for sci-fi and fantasy, but there's actually credits here. Anya Taylor-Joy.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Especially most recently with Mad Max Furiosa.
Right. Which is just called Furiosa.
Is it just Furiosa?
Let Mad Max go.
I
Just
thought they kept
Furiosa.
it. My bad.
That was just last year. You're right. But go back to 2020, The New Mutants. She's Magic.
Okay.
Ileana Rasputin, which
Love
is
the
a character I loved in the comics.
Love the character.
Last Night in Soho, 2021, which is borderline fantasy horror.
Mhm.
She's Sandy, the primary character. The Menu in 2022, she's Margot. I haven't seen that one yet, but I went in my research, I got to watch this movie.
Okay.
And a movie you bashed earlier, the Super Mario Brothers movie. She's Princess Peach.
Notably, I didn't bash the movie. I bashed Chris Pratt in this movie.
Ouch. Okay. Well, you're not bashing her then. 2023, she is Princess Peach. And the movie was very successful. I haven't watched it, but I know the buzz. It was very successful. Did you watch it and hate it?
No, I haven't seen it. I know people who've seen it. I've seen bits of it. I've seen enough to see like, oh, I like this person's performance or this person's performance because I've seen enough clips of things, but I haven't seen the full movie. I'm not judging the movie as a whole, but I will judge some people in it. And as far as I know, she did fine.
Okay, fair. Number 7 is an actress you have not been as on board with as I have been at times. Millie Bobby Brown.
Yeah, I can see why she's here. Between both Stranger Things and Enola Holmes, those are my first two go-to in this decade that I'm like, I get it. But I don't know if I'm gonna stick around on the Bobby Brown train or if it's gonna pass.
I think she's here to stay. So yes, Stranger Things, and of course the final season is coming out this year. And Enola Holmes. There was a sequel, I think. Godzilla versus Kong in 2021. I was surprised how much I enjoyed it. That's the kind of movie you're like, okay, they're really leaning into this.
I
This
thought it
is
was a
going to be
fun little monster
cheesy.
flick.
This was actually pretty good.
The fun monster flick, kaiju battle stuff. I forgot she was in that.
2023, Damsel. She plays Princess Elodie. You have not seen that.
Have not.
And she has other stuff coming that I don't have on the list. There's other stuff coming out. She's just picking up parts, and I think we're going to see her continue to mature as an actress and take more and more bulk. I have no issue giving her a number 7, but you can have your own opinion.
And I do.
Number 6 on my list, Timothy Chalamet.
I think there's an argument to be made that he's should be higher, and or that he'll continue to be higher through this decade. He's one that has grown on me over time, because if you'd asked me this question 3 years ago, I'd have told you I don't much like Timothy Chalamet.
He just gives you Timothy Chalamet every time.
I vaguely disagree in that it's grown on me more. Dune Part 2 did a lot of work for doing that for me.
Now, keep in mind, I gave him number 6. I'm not hating on Timothy Chalamet.
So what do you include on your list of like 5 things?
Dune, 2021. Don't Look Up, 2021. Did you see that one?
I did not.
You should watch that movie. It's all snarky commentary parody thing. Wonka, 2023.
Mm-hmm.
And then Dune Part 2, 2023. But that's all that fits in sci-fi and fantasy in the 2020s. He's done other things. That's all that fits here.
I'm trying to think if there is anything else that I can think off my head that I would include in that genre, but I don't know if there is.
I mean, he's solid in Dune. And it's a secondary role in Don't Look Up, but he was fine. And Wonka is Wonka. I didn't need Wonka. I enjoyed the previous versions, but he's fine. It's entertaining.
Like I said, I wasn't much of a fan of him in the last couple of years, but more recently, he's grown on me.
Let me give you number 5 that I think you'll be happier with.
Please do.
Robert Pattinson.
Finally!
So in 2020, he has Tenet. The
fantastic movie.
Yeah, I know
some
you
people
love that one.
hate it. I love it.
I have no problem with Tenet. Your mother didn't like it, but I did. 2022, The Batman.
Bruce Which is Wayne, a very valid thing. Batman. I thought it had some pacing issues. Some people think it's their favorite Batman movie.
But he portrays it well. The only other one is something that hasn't come out yet.
Mickey 17.
Yes, comes out next month.
I'm going to see that real soon. I'm so excited.
Awesome. Strong sci-fi.
Partially because of Rachel's degree and who she knew kind of already. She has some like film friends and stuff. And they're excited because of like the director and stuff. I'm like, I trust your opinions on director and studio and stuff. So I bet it's going to be a good movie. But it also just looks really entertaining. RPAT does a great job in most things I see nowadays.
RPAT?
Robert Pattinson.
Are we those close to terms now? He's just RPAT for you?
I mean, if I'm going to call Zac Efron Zephron, I'm going to call Robert Pattinson RPAT. Point being, does a great job. And this is an example of someone who does not phone it in on voice acting roles. He has done a couple. There was an anime something or other that he was actually a role. And you can't tell that it's him because he is doing such a big job. He's giving so much. He's giving a fantastic performance, not just lending his voice that is recognizable as his voice. If this is a spectrum of how to voice act, Robert Pattinson is on one end and Chris Pratt is on the other.
Do you remember when we did a musical together where I did voice acting?
You mean when you were a puppet?
Yes. That's voice acting.
Yes.
And it was not me. I was someone else.
You were Carrot Top. I understand. I remember.
I mean, the tone of voice was not my voice.
Yeah.
Okay. There you go. So I'm with you. Don't be Chris Pratt.
Don't be Chris
Pratt.
Be
Robert Pattinson.
Now, if you're voicing Chris Pratt, but animated,
Then
then
be
be
Chris
Chris
Pratt.
Pratt, I guess. But like otherwise, why? Why?
Number 4, Rebecca
Okay.
Ferguson.
Yeah. No. I think between my brain says the Dunes,
So
but
Lady
also
Jessica in both those movies, 2021, 2024.
her role in Silo.
Yes, she's still killing it there,
And then there's another something that is in my brain, but I can't pull it out. What is it?
which is very funny. Could it be Reminiscence?
Maybe.
That's 2021 movie, Reminiscence. You're remembering something, but maybe it's more likely Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1.
Yes, that one. That's more where my brain was, I think.
Did the sequel
But
come out yet?
no clue.
Because I haven't seen it. So I don't know. Maybe I should look it up. We're waiting for that. Actually, okay, here's the truth. I haven't seen the first one
Exactly. That's where I'm like,
because I was waiting for the sequel to come out. Okay, the next one comes out this year. Okay. I'm like, I don't want to watch the first one when you're left on a cliffhanger.
you don't want to
No,
watch part 1 until you've
I'll
got
wait.
part 2.
And when the sequel's out, I'll watch them both.
Did you do that for Dune too?
Sort of. I waited until they were both available and watched them at home.
Really? For both?
I watched Dune and went right into Dune 2. Yep.
I think Dune is one that actually did benefit from going and watching like an IMAX. Just the way the sound was a big. Now, granted, I know your subwoofer. You didn't need it. You were already shaking the house.
Right, but I want my money to goes to cruise ships, not movie theaters.
I don't know. The percentage of a cruise ship that one time at a movie theater is pretty low.
All right, so Rebecca Ferguson, though, man, she's awesome. The first thing I remember seeing her in was actually The Greatest Showman,
Mm-hmm.
where she doesn't actually sing. That's someone else's
that's
voice.
somebody else's voice for the singing.
But
believe,
there
yeah.
she was. But that's, again, that something history, revisionist history. I'm like, where have I seen her? Oh, she was great back there. I didn't even know who she was back then.
Mm-hmm.
But in Silo, she's awesome. You haven't watched any of Silo, have you?
I have not. I'm waiting to until I've read at least Wool, and I haven't. I recommended it to you, and you read it, but I haven't.
Read the first 2 books before you watch any of it.
Wool and
Trust
Shift.
me.
Now,
Yeah.
granted, I'm gonna read the trilogy before I watch the show, but
Season 1 is primarily based on book 1, but a
it's got some
little of book
spoilers
2
for 2.
leaks in, just a little bit. Season 2 was heavily into book 2 plus elements of book 1 that they hadn't emphasized. Nothing's touched book 3 yet, but both seasons were good. I thought season 2 was better than season 1. Very much enjoyed it. Yeah. All right, we still have 3 more.
Yeah, who do we got?
I want to know if you can guess any of them.
Probably not, mostly because I have 2 or 3 that I would want mentioned, and I don't think will be.
Okay, tell me the 2 or 3 you want mentioned.
So I'm going to mention one that I think I'm okay mentioning for this decade. However, I'm almost in pain that we haven't mentioned on a previous decade. Willem Dafoe.
He's an excellent actor.
Lots of things. But I'll
sci-fi and fantasy, I remember his Spider-Man stints, and that's
hear
about
me
it.
out for this decade, because this one I looked up a little bit just to make sure I have. So we've got your Spider-Man No Way Home, right?
Mm-hmm.
We get that. We also then get that like anime stuff that Robert Pattinson was in as well. It's called The Boy and the Heron. He's in that as well. Then we move to a fantastic movie that is absolutely sci-fi. Poor Things. Great movie. Emma Stone is the like main lead, but it also has Mark Ruffalo and Willem Dafoe.
For the record, Mark Ruffalo is an actor I could have considered on other lists, and I left him off on purpose because all I really know him from is MCU.
I know other things, but not necessarily sci-fi fantasy.
Right.
But Poor Things, great movie. We then move further. He's in Beetlejuice,
which I have not seen. Poor Things is like totally sci-fi.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
I don't know anything about that movie yet, though.
I went and saw it in the theaters with Rach.
Wow.
And then most recently, he's in Nosferatu.
Which I haven't seen yet. Okay. Willem Dafoe, way to give him some props.
And
I love it.
he
He's been
deserves to
so
be in
good for
various
so
lists for
long.
decades. So for me, I'm like, I'd give him this decade finally because there's been enough sci-fi fantasy in this decade. I want to give it to him. But he's not one of your next, top 3 you had left?
Right.
Who do you have?
Before I reveal the top 3, I really got to give you just a little more affirmation and love for Willem Dafoe. I've loved this actor for years. He's great. But there's a background story that goes way back. He's in Platoon. He has a significant secondary role in Platoon.
Okay.
What he's best known for from that movie is dying when most of the group he's with are getting away in a helicopter. And he just didn't get there in time. And he's getting shot down as he's like, oh, what about me?
I've seen the moment of him getting shot down.
Okay.
I don't think I've seen this movie. I've seen that moment.
Your mother and I went to see Platoon in theaters when Melissa, your sister, was like a month or 2 old. Maybe 3 months old. So your mom's holding Melissa.
So you took her. Got it.
It's a war movie. She didn't do well with that. So your mom has not seen at least half the movie. Maybe 2/3 of the movie.
Yeah, just putting this out there. Don't take a 1 to 3 monther to the movies.
We learned that. Yes. So she does not know the Willem Dafoe movement because I'm the only one there because I'm also thinking I paid for this. I'm watching this movie. They're out there, but I'm watching this movie.
I get that reasoning. I don't blame you for that reasoning.
We weren't alone.
You probably made the wrong choice.
Who was with us? There were a couple other people with us at the movie.
100%, I understand. That probably was the wrong choice.
It probably was. Anyways, number 3, 2, 1.
Yes.
Number 3 is Henry Cavill.
He's back.
And here's why. The Witcher.
Yep.
Okay, starts in 2019, goes through 2023, and then they've decided to replace him. No, the show ends in 2023. Okay, Geralt of Rivia. He was amazing in this role. My goodness. He's also in Enola Holmes,
which is a favorite for you.
Holmes. It's secondary role because it's about Enola, but he's there.
Absolutely.
Then we've got in 2021 Zack Snyder's Justice League as Superman. Have you watched 2024 Argyle?
I have not. I've heard negative things about it. I've heard it kind of flopped.
It's not the best of movies, but he is the lead role, Argyle, and it fits in the genre. And then also in 2024, one of the most the most entertaining role he plays in this decade, the Cavalry.
Yes.
In Deadpool and Wolverine.
Small little thing, but fun.
I laughed so hard when I saw him there as the Cavalry.
And I'll give, since we did give him a number 3 slot here, very firmly in this genre, upcoming a Warhammer 40K movie.
Okay. Also upcoming, there's a reboot of the Highlander franchise where he has the lead role. So we're going to get Henry Cavill
things are a little bit still technically in the air sometimes, but we are going to get more Henry Cavill. We are going to get more Henry Cavill in these genres.
He's mostly here, though, because of The Witcher and Superman. It was only the one Superman role, but it was solid. He is Superman. I'm like, come on.
Except not anymore. We're getting a new Superman pretty soon.
And it will fail. Henry Cavill is Superman.
We'll see. I don't want to spurn a new actor's chance just because I really did enjoy a previous one. While I do wish we could have kept Henry Cavill, I'll try to keep open eyes for what's new.
Now, who do we put higher than Henry Cavill?
Yeah, who do you got? Number
2 is Pedro Pascal.
Thank you. He belongs.
2019 to the present, we've got The Mandalorian. So he's Din Djarin, the Mandalorian. He also has the role of Maxwell Lord in Wonder Woman 1984 in 2020. We have in 2020 a movie you haven't seen yet, We Can Be Heroes. which is a superhero movie
Mhm.
that I'd never heard of until I was researching for this. So I got to check this out. He reprises the Mandalorian for 3 episodes of the Book of Boba Fett in
Okay.
2022. And then, have you seen this yet? The Last of Us?
I still haven't seen it. I love the series. I'm really
It's
excited
so
for it.
good.
He does great. I know
Yeah.
this. I want to point out he's number 2 here for your this decade. These actors.
You're going to hate number 1.
No. When we did just in general, he didn't make your list, and I said he should have.
I have shifted. I grow. I
And
grow as a person.
since we're saying things that reasons he belongs in this decade, we've got upcoming Fantastic Four, where he is Mr. Fantastic.
Which I couldn't include yet because it's not out, and I know I have included some others, but thank you for mentioning it because I'm
The trailer's
excited
out.
for that
We've
movie. We're going to
seen-
finally get a real Fantastic Four. The costumes, they're straight out of the comic books.
For me, it's a sort of thing of we've seen the trailer, we absolutely can include it. We may even have the release date. I don't remember.
It's July.
It
July
is the summer.
25th.
Okay.
July 25th. Yeah.
But no, I'm
It's gonna
excited.
be good. We've had multiple okay and bad Fantastic Four movies. I think we're finally going to get the good one.
We'll see. Fingers crossed.
Okay. Number 1, you're going to hate.
Why?
It's Chris Pratt. Sorry.
Yeah, I kind of hate it potentially.
But hear me
Why
out.
did you put him here?
First, and this is the biggest one that goes in his favor, The
Mhm.
Tomorrow War from 2021.
I did enjoy this movie.
Solid sci-fi. Dan Forrester is his role. It's a great turn-in. It has nothing to do with various franchises or something. It's just solid acting. Then we've got Jurassic World Dominion in 2022. He's reprising his role as Owen Grady. Thor, Love and Thunder. He shows up as Peter Quill, Star-Lord. Then he's the voice of Mario, the lead character in the Super Mario Brothers movie in 2023. And then Guardian of the Galaxy 3.
Volume 3,
Peter
which is
Quill,
fantastic.
Star-Lord again. What rises him to the top is the Tomorrow War.
It's a weird thing where I feel like he has a really good agent because he's consistently not necessarily the standout of really good movies. So I think he just gets good movies. But I don't always love him in them. He's just good enough, you know?
Guardians of the Galaxy without Chris Pratt is not Guardians of the Galaxy. Keep in mind, this is a movie based on a comic series no one cared about. And now the movies came out and everybody's like, this is great. I knew this comic existed before the movies came out. And I'm like, but I don't care. What? And he nails it. He's the linchpin of everything else that happens.
That being said, for Guardians of the Galaxy 3, I'm giving a lot of credit to both the animators, the writers, and Bradley Cooper.
Oh, man. Bradley Cooper's voice work. There you are, voice work again. The raccoon, Rocket Raccoon, man. Nails it. All right, that is our list from the 50s through the 2020s. I almost said 2025s, but that's weird.
That is weird. Don't say that.
Yeah. What do you think about our most recent episode? Go ahead and share your thoughts in the comment box. While you're looking there, look down the show notes. The other ways you can interact with Zach and I. We've got links to social media. We got an invitation to Discord. We have an email address that no one ever uses.
It's just okay. I won't check the email. You will.
It all comes to me. If you want a message to go straight to Zach, good luck.
I'm sure you can find a way, and seriously, I will be scared of it.
Just send me a message that says this is for Zach, and I will get it to him. We care, but he cares belated. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. This has been a lot of fun. Before you see any other Zach and I content, we'll have gotten together on vacation. I'm going to go visit the boy, and we have committed to not record while we're together.
Yeah, so we'll see each other, and you won't see any of it.
And then I'm going on a cruise ship for another week. So there's probably going to actually be a gap in content.
look, at the end of the day, expect the background to change because we'll have read other things.
That is true. I am currently sort of on Network Effect, and up there. Whoa, wait, no, point. I can't point that far. Way
It's
over
pretty hard
there.
to point that far. Are you trying to point here?
Yeah, that one. I'm on that book.
See, I'm on neither of the books that are behind you that I was reading.
So over here, well, if you finish this trilogy,
I finished the second, and I'm waiting on an Audible credit to do the third. So I've done a couple of other books. I'm currently actually listening to Project Hail Mary.
Oh, I love that book.
So that's fantastic.
Are you enjoying it?
I am enjoying it. I'm like 5-6 chapters in.
Did you read The Martian before you did it?
I've seen The Martian. I've read part of The Martian. I never finished it because I started reading it way too early. I mean, I saw it when it came out. I think we saw it together.
The movie is a decent adaptation of the book, but the book is better.
I plan to get to it. I might get to it this year because I am trying to hit some sci-fi things, and Project Hail Mary is doing very well for me. So I may get The Martian.
Did you finish Lightbringer?
I'm reading the final book right now.
So I can update
The Burning White.
Because that is the first book.
That is the second book below you.
Oh, crap. Okay, very good.
But I will be finishing the 5th soon.
An entertaining book is over in the corner, way past you. Yes, thank you. You can't see the title. It's called Lightfall. It's the start of I think it's a trilogy. It was not self-published.
Okay.
Ed Crocker supports a lot of people who self-publish. He has his own channel and support thing. But he wrote his own book that actually got traditionally published.
Okay.
And I read it recently.
And
it takes the vampire and werewolf thing and flips it on its head and creates a fantasy world where these beings exist. And I was thoroughly entertained.
Hey, I'll take it. I like vampires and werewolves better than I do zombies.
There are no zombies. No zombies. All right. I think that's it then. You got any last comments before we close it up?
Yes, because probably not for this decade. Maybe for this decade. Still probably going to do more.
There's no future decade. We're not there yet.
No, but it's an addendum to our last video in this series because I think he really belongs more in that one than he does in this one.
Okay.
Bill Skarsgård.
Bill?
Yes.
There's a few brothers. So
Bill Skarsgård's known most for his horror work. Specifically, think like Pennywise in
Bill?
Part 1 and 2. That's Bill Skarsgård. Also, then they're in the teens in Hemlock Grove.
Oh, I loved him in that, but that was Bill?
Yeah. Also, in Deadpool 2, plays a little part in there as well. That's all in the teens.
I just seriously have to look it up. Because his brother did The Stand.
Probably. I don't remember for sure that one. I always think of Legends of Tarzan for his.
Yeah, he did Tarzan too. Okay, yes, I see Bill Skarsgård. He's been fantastic.
I love Bill. I think he's fantastic. He
was in Nosferatu.
Awesome things. He was in Nosferatu. He's Count Orlok.
Have you seen Barbarian?
I have not. That's also this decade. I've heard it's good. Heard good things.
I heard it was good. I haven't seen it yet.
The thing about Bill Skarsgård to me is that he does fantastic things. He does very well in them. It's sometimes hard to remember because he's so good at playing things that look and sound nothing like him.
Interesting.
So for me, he fills a similar role almost to where Andy Serkis is, in that fantastic in lots of things that they do not necessarily get seen for their face.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the episode, even as we wandered in a very meandering way. But lots of actors and actresses, science fiction, fantasy, great stuff. We hope you heard about some shows you might go back and check. I will. There were a few. Like, what? That? Absolutely. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll talk to you next time.